Hello, in this session we evaluate natural polymers. Welcome. As we said earlier, a polymer is a long continuous chain formed by the dynamic synthesis of small molecules of organic matter. Natural polymers predominantly are formed through the process of condensation polymerization. So as we evaluate, we are going to try to decipher the source of each polymer, its synthesis process, and the ultimate applications or uses for that particular polymer. Now, looking behind me, we have a series of natural substances, namely sucrose, amino acid, hexane 1,6-dioic acid, and 2-methyl-butane-1,3-diene. Now, these substances are the primary agents which synthesize to form the relevant polymers naturally. Beginning with cellulose. Cellulose is a derivative of sucrose. Now, sucrose is an agent of the form C6H12O6. Now, this shows clearly that it is saturated, and when it synthesizes, it leads to the formation of a long continuous chain which has a reduced formation of C6H10O5 and with a multiple reflecting on the number of monomers from the sucrose matter that interact. Now, when it is formed, it is much tougher and stronger and is mainly used in the manufacture of paper pulp. So, manufacture of paper pulp. We can also use it to fabricate cotton. So you can see there, cellulose is an important medium in the textile industry. The second natural form of polymer is protein, and protein is simply a polypeptide. A peptide is a form of amino acid, and when peptide combines with peptide, it means amino acid plus amino acid combine to form a polyamino acid or a polypeptide, and that represents protein. Protein is an essential commodity in the bodily cells, so it is used in the manufacture of and repair of bodily cells. So, in the event that a person may be suffering scurvy or skin injury on the fibrin, this natural multiplication of protein will serve the purpose of healing the wounds. Next, we have terrylane. Terrylane comes from a diorganic acid of hexanoic form. Now, this diorganic acid is hexane 1,6-dioic, and when there is a synthesis, it forms a long continuous chain of multiple series of dioic acids, and this is what is referred to as terrylane. How do you use terrylane? We use it to manufacture safety belts and camping tents, simply because it is a tough material which is flexible. And next to this, we have polyisoprene, and polyisoprene is simply a synthetic form of rubber. This synthetic form of rubber comes from isoprene monomer. The isoprene monomer is simply referred to as it's referred to as 2-methyl-butane-1,3-diene. So this is what we are referring to as isoprene. So when isoprene combines with isoprene, it forms a long continuous chain referred to as polyisoprene. The polyisoprene is tough and is a form of a synthetic rubber. How do you use this synthetic rubber? We use it to manufacture wheels of aeroplanes, especially when it is hardened by vulcanization. So when vulcanization is conducted, the polyisoprene is bubbled through hot molten sulfur to form a tough substance that is suitable for the manufacture of aeroplane wheels. We can also use it in the non-hardened form to manufacture all rubber substances. So rubber goods would be effectively manufactured from the polyisoprene. So this said and done, we agree and say that natural polymers form through the natural process. And the main process for the formation of natural polymers is condensation polymerization. What advantages and what disadvantages do we have for natural polymers? If you allow me briefly, I'm going to look at that. So in evaluating the advantages and disadvantages, we are going to take a critical view as to how effective the material is obtained and used or usable, vis-a-vis how suitably it may be disposed. So the advantages of natural polymers and the disadvantages. Now, number one, they are naturally occurring, which means they are cheap. Number two, they are easy to manipulate. Number three, they are biodegradable, which means they decompose naturally. And then we can also see that number four, they are readily recyclable. The disadvantages, one, is that they are thermosetting. Thermosetting in the sense that when heated, they harden. Second disadvantage is they are susceptible to staining, susceptible to stains. They are not easy to wash, and they are creasable. Good. So that is a brief description of what we are calling natural polymers, the organic forms of matter which synthesize by condensation polymerization, forming complex molecules that have varied range of uses. In our next case, we are going to look at synthetic polymers.